I'm Emily C. Bunrung, and in this video, I'm going to show you how to make chicken liver pate. I've made a previous video of liver pate, but I made it with beef liver. So today we're going to be making it with chicken liver. It has a little more ingredients in it and different ingredients as well than the beef liver pate. And it seems like chicken liver is more accessible in grocery stores. You can find it in most butcher aisles. And as long as it's pasture raised and organic, on organic feed, because you definitely want to still have high quality organ meat that you're going to eat. Liver is the most nutrient dense organ meat, and it's high in vitamin A, D, even C, E, K, B12, and iron and zinc. And if you happen to be pregnant, this is a great source, a super great source for folic acid. It's very high in selenium as well, which has antioxidant properties, which support the thyroid gland. So that's great for when you're pregnant too. And all you need is about 1 ounce of chicken liver 2 times per week to meet you and baby's nutrient needs. The ingredients you're going to need are some grass-fed butter. This is about almost 2 sticks of butter here. You can see how yellow it is. Some sprigs of rosemary. If you can't get rosemary, it's fine. A lot of recipes don't include rosemary. I love rosemary because it just goes so well with chicken. Some thyme. Also, dried herbs is fine if you don't have any fresh herbs here. Bay leaf, dried bay leaf is fine. Thinly sliced onion here, just half of an onion, about a cup of thinly sliced onions, and then 1 clove of garlic that I sliced up here, half a cup of spring water, filtered water, unchlorinated water, and some salt. Oops. Last but not least, some chicken liver, of course. This recipe is for almost a pound. This is 0.96. Also, in terms of equipment, you're going to need a food processor to blend the chicken liver into a pate. You're also going to need some kind of cooking fat to saute the onions and garlic in. I've got some ghee here that I'm going to be using. Just make sure it's either ghee, tallow, lard, coconut oil, just no processed seed oils here. All right, so I'm outside cooking on my Camp Chef sidekick here. The lighting in my kitchen right now, it's kind of a mess as well. So we're gonna be cooking outside. I'm just gonna turn on the stove. This is a very hot flame, so I'm actually gonna be putting it like medium low heat. We're gonna be preheating it first. We're gonna put the ghee in. I'd say this is about 2 tablespoons of ghee. Okay, I'm gonna throw in the onion and the garlic. Okay, you can see it in here, it's sizzling. We're gonna turn the heat back. We're gonna turn the heat back to low because I don't want, we don't need a lot of color or to burn the onion. We actually wanna cook it all the way until it's soft and pretty much translucent. I'm not a fan of having bites of kind of uncooked onions in my chicken liver pate, even if you're blending it. So you definitely wanna cook it all the way through. So while the onions are cooking, I'm gonna be putting in my rosemary, so it gets fragrant at the same time. So I've used dried rosemary before, and I thought, oh, if I blend it, it's just gonna I'm not gonna worry about how hard or crispy or crunchy the rosemary is, because when they're dried, I didn't pulverize it. So either make sure you pulverize it completely before you put in the food processor, because the food processor can't always catch it, can't blend it completely if it's still whole. So make sure you pulverize it, and then you could totally add it to the onions. Now while it's cooking, I'm just gonna take the time to put the thyme in there, get it off the stem. My favorite herb is thyme. Like, oh my God, it always reminds me of the holidays. Give it a little stir. This is what it's starting to look like. Not quite there yet. I would say if you're using dry thyme, you could put about a teaspoon. This is smelling so good. So make sure you adjust the heat accordingly. You don't want it too high because you don't want the onion or garlic to burn. I'm gonna lower it a little bit. We're just about there. So now I'm gonna add about a tablespoon of the butter. We're gonna throw in the bay leaf as well. Now I'm gonna throw in the liver. We're gonna bring up the heat a little higher because that cold liver is gonna cool off the pan. 1 teaspoon of salt into the pan. You can definitely add more once after you blend it and taste it. You can season as you go. So I'm gonna raise the heat a little more. It's like 40, maybe even colder degrees here in Idaho, so I could see why this is not heating up as fast. The air is cold. Now we don't want to overcook the liver. There isn't obviously much fat on it. I'm going to add my ½ cup of water. And we're gonna let this simmer. We're gonna let this simmer for 3 to 5 minutes. We're only cooking the chicken liver until it's just slightly pink. So it's been about 5 minutes. I'm gonna turn off the heat. I wanna show you what slightly pink looks like. You can just use, your spatula to break it up. Let's see if you can see this. I don't know if you can see that. Just slightly pink. You just don't want it all completely like brown looking, okay? We're gonna take this off the heat and let it cool off, and I'm gonna go grab my food processor. And now it's time to blend and process everything. Oh, don't forget to take the bay leaf out. Remove that, whoop. Okay, so we're gonna pour everything in, including the juices. I'm gonna add half of the butter that's left. We're gonna add the other half later. Just start with that. Ideally, you kind of want it room temp. And blend away. I'm gonna turn it off, scrape the sides, and then add the rest of the butter. Remember, if this seems a little runny, you're gonna chill it. You're gonna chill the pate. Okay, add the rest of the butter, and blend again. I just realized I forgot to scrape the sides. So we're gonna scrape the sides. Oh my God, it smells so good. Mocha, no, mocha. I'm just gonna give it a taste. See if it needs some more salt. That's really good. I'm just gonna add ½ a teaspoon of salt. And then I'm gonna put it on high so it gets real smooth. Let's check the consistency. Really smooth. So I've got my ramekins. If you don't have ramekins, you could totally put it in little cups or bowls. You don't gotta get so fancy here, or go out of your way to buy it. There you go. Beautiful chicken liver pate. Wow, that is so amazing. You can really taste the thyme, the rosemary, the onions, barely any garlic, just a hint of it. And honestly, if you're not a fan of organ meat or liver, all of these ingredients really mask that taste. I honestly can't have liver any other way but in pate form with these herbs. You're gonna wanna refrigerate these ramekins for at least 6 hours so they chill. You can eat it with veggies. You can eat it plain just like this. Just get your 2 tablespoons for the week. You can also eat it with really good legit sourdough bread as well. So I just cover it with little plates If you want to use plastic wrap, you can totally cover it. Just make sure it touches the top. So I hope you enjoyed this recipe. It's super simple. If you have any questions or comments regarding cooking, nutrition, food, workouts, go ahead and leave them in the comment section below, and I will see you in the next video. Happy eatings!